It's Don Exotic coming to you from the offices of Active Tiger Labs here in beautiful Overland Park, Kansas. And before we get started this week, I just had to mention that I think maybe this week I've done a little too much binge watching on Netflix, and it's starting to rub off on me a little bit. I think, I'm not sure. I'll let you guys decide. But joining me this week is one of our senior developers, Alex Tash. Hey, Alex.
How's it going?
It's going well. I just wanted to kind of introduce you to our audience and let them get to know you a little bit. Give us an idea. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up? How'd you get into IT? Things like that.
Cool. Yeah, I'm from a really tiny little town out in California, and so graduating class had like 12 people in it. And so best way to get into anything outside of the regular stuff in a small town was to hop on a computer. So it's kind of what I did. Met up and hung out with a little bit of a hacker group. Taught me how to do both how to build a website, how to tear it down, and from there it was just kind of a perfect fit. And been programming and building websites and applications and everything in between for the last like 12 years, 15 years almost or so. So
Wow.
a good time.
Outstanding. So I see you got guitars hanging back there. What is that one of your hobbies? Do you like?
Yeah.
What do you like to do outside of work?
Yeah. So normally what I do, if I'm not programming or working on other random side projects, is either strumming along with these guitars, learning different like punk or some of my favorite type of stuff, punk and metal types of things. So try to pick up that stuff and play it along. Or pick up a nice little, love ballad over there on the acoustic guitar, whatever I can do. And then other than that, I go out and hike, go and walk the dog everywhere. I'm pretty sure she just heard me say that, and now she's going to be at the door any minute now. And go out and travel. I like to go out and see as much as I can.
So on the guitar, have you ever tried to play Hey Kitty Kitty or any of the popular songs right now?
I don't stay super relevant, unfortunately. Don't
I
follow
Saw a Tiger, maybe, or nothing.
Don't really follow major pop trends.
Should have had you do the intro to this video. All right. Well, just out of curiosity, what would you say is the worst or most interesting job you've had?
Yeah, cool. I'd like to say I find myself pretty lucky. I've worked at a lot of really cool places, and count myself very, lucky in that regard. But I've had some really interesting places. One of my favorite ones, definitely growing up in that small little pizza town, or a pizza place in this little town that I was in, was a old man ran this tiny little shop, homemade pizzas, and he had like 4 of us high school kids just basically run the show. So if you were a customer, you'd walk in and there'd be rap or death metal blaring in the place, and there'd be 4 high school kids with no regard for any customer service or quality or anything, just slinging dough and cooking pizzas and having a good time. So it was one of my more interesting jobs for sure.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, you also had a stint with a Harry Potter.
Yeah. One of my first websites I ever worked on was this little role-playing site where you can hop on and type out what you're doing, kind of like a message board style, and it had like role-playing, like you can do wizard battles and all sorts of really nerdy things. And so first thing I ever worked on was like 12, 13 years old or so. I was hopped on. I said, "Hey, I want to code. Can I help?" And I just got dragged into this whole world of programming through it. So
outstanding.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to bring that up to Robert. We could recreate that.
And throw a little premium service on top of there. Might make some money.
A new mobile app. It might take off like crazy. So we know you got into IT, 12, 13 years ago. What do you consider to be your strengths technically?
Yeah, I think the last several years I've definitely been putting a lot bigger focus into user interface, how you as a user will interact with a app or a website, making it as easy as possible to kind of do the thing that you're trying to do with it and then leave. And so because what we build are tools, and we don't really want to build a trap. So I like to try and find ways that you can get in and get out and get your job done type of thing. So a lot of my main strengths right now has been focused around that.
And does that lend itself to what you're currently doing? Tell us a little bit about the project you're on now.
Yeah, so I got a couple cool little projects that I've been messing around with. The main one is this content management system that's been kind of custom built. And we're really trying to create this really simple workflow that lets anybody who uses it sit down and put together a really nice, strikingly beautiful website for their user base while keeping it very consistent. And that way they don't do anything that can ruin the way the website looks for themselves. So
Gotcha.
Kind of a really interesting thing is you're building guardrails and constraints everywhere, but you also got to make it so it's easy for them to use. So It's a fun challenge.
Very good. All right. Well, I don't want to keep you too long, and I probably should let you get back to that project. But before I wrap it up, I got to ask you just one more question. And that's, do you think Carol killed her husband and fed him to a tiger?
No, that's a good question. I for one, actually, am starting to think a little further than that, such as, did she is she the cause of the coronavirus? Or, there's a lot of things in my life that I look around and go, I wonder if Carol Baskin caused that or not. So I don't know. I might be a little bit further along than a lot of people.
Well, I think you've watched the whole series twice. You've watched the whole series twice now, and I've only watched it once. So maybe if I watch it one more time, maybe I'll get that paranoia thing going. But I'm in the camp of hell yeah, she did. She fed him to a tiger. But in any case, hey, I want to thank you again for joining me. And it's been a lot of fun. And before I wrap up completely, I did want to close with a shout out to one of our viewers down in Oklahoma named Joe. Joe is in solitary right now, and we're hoping he gets to feeling a little better and gets out of solitary very soon. But until then, I'll be back next week with another developer. And for now, this is Don Exotic, Indoorman, and I'm out.